Welcome to The Conversation with Corinthus Alston. Brought to you by CKJ Live, bringing you real-life topics and real-life stories, discussing subjects that matter to you. This is your invitation to listen, laugh, love, loathe, and link up. That's right. Tell us what's on your mind. Now let's get to the conversation.
Welcome to The Conversation. Without the conversation, we can't have the understanding. Today on The Conversation, I want to talk to you about financial literacy. And the first person who just hit my mind, I mean, she got a testimony, is Angela Williams. I messed up the girl name. Jesus Christ. Now, see, look at that. See, Lord, I need you to help me. I need you to help me now because, I need you to help me. Oh, see, she laughing. Don't worry. I still got some more stuff to say about you, girl. I still got some more stuff to say about you. Angela's testimony is actually inspiring. I mean, it is. It's all inspiring. And if you don't know, I'm just going to give a little bit of it. But, okay. Angela has spent 13 years climbing the corporate ladder in the accounting field. And then one day she came to work, and guess what? She got laid off in 2008. But did that stop her? No. You know what? She looked to the hills, and guess what? God gave her an answer. God gave her an answer. And what happened next? A new entrepreneur was born. All right. She has a bachelor's degree in finance and a master's degree in business. And she took that knowledge and she opened up a business. Yes, she did. Glamour and Gifts Boutique in Waukegan, and launched an online business called Anje Cosmetics. All right. And then on top of that, she looked at everything and she went to minding her money. She said, okay, I'm here. All right, Lord, I need you to help me. I'm here. All right. And then she looked and she said, you know what? I need to become debt free. And so she took $1,000 portfolio. All right. And she turned into a 6-figure portfolio in 8 years. Now, I'm not saying just 100. I mean, 6. I mean, we passed the 1. Okay. So, she balling. All right. I'm just happy to have her on the show. All right. All right. And she was in foreclosure. And then now she has an 800 credit score. But this was a journey. And by doing that, she became a certified life coach. And then she said, I need to help others. So for the last 3 years, she's been teaching thousands and thousands of people how to power their financial literacy and entrepreneurship. All right. Let's get to it. All right, Angela. Hey, how's everything going?
It's better than amazing. I'm so excited to be on The Conversation. This is an amazing opportunity and just so blessed to be here.
Oh, wow. See, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. In fact, I called you up. I'm like, let me get her. The show wouldn't even started yet. But when I put down, I actually have like a little board. And I put down financial literacy, and her name was the first one that I put there because she has been doing some things, y'all. She's been doing some things. So I just want to jump into it.
Yes.
What I'm finding is a lot of people don't even understand what financial literacy is. So when you bring it to them, when you say, hey, you know what, let's talk about financial literacy. What happens? I mean, do they look like you, like what you're talking about? They're like, okay, I heard of it, but what is it?
I think that, usually when I talk to people about financial literacy, the first response I get is yeah. And they'll say something like, it's something that should be taught in our schools. Is something that our parents should have taught us, but they didn't know, and it's okay. People who are in college should learn about financial literacy. I think financial literacy should be a requirement for graduating from high school.
Okay.
But when you get down into the details, they don't really understand what financial literacy really means. And first of all, it's a mindset. You have to feel like, number one, there is nothing that you can buy that's going to feel better than being debt free. Financial literacy also means that you want to mind your money before you mind anything else. And sometimes we hear people say you need to pay you first, but they don't know what that means. And so when I say pay you first, what I'm saying is when you get your paycheck, you got all these hands in your paycheck. And everybody get paid. The bank get paid because you got a mortgage. The bank get paid again because you got a car note. You got to buy food. You got to keep food on the table. And when it's all said and done, nothing went to you. Nobody is saving enough. And so you're going to have to start paying you before you pay everybody else. So you need to save your money, but then at the same time, you have to start investing so that your money can start having some babies. And so
here's the thing. Here's the thing. What are some of the common mistakes? Because I know you run into people all the time, but what are some of the common mistakes you find that people are making by not understanding financial literacy, debt, and credit? Now I know that's three things, but I know you talk to people about, like, do you know what your debt load is? And they're looking at you like, what you talking about?
Yeah. People, I notice that when I do talk to people and we start having a financial succession session, the first thing I ask them is, who got your money? And nobody can answer that question, because I'm realizing a lot of people do everything with debit cards. So they just swiping.
There you go.
And all they're doing is they're checking their bank account, say, oh, I got $200 left. I got $200. Swiping. And so what I'm telling people to do is, you got to sit down, pull out them bank statements, and let's see where your money go. And I have like a little a worksheet. So you'd be surprised that when people sit down and they look at every transaction they made and we put it into categories, you realize people got a whole lot of money and didn't even know it.
Wow.
But they're blowing the money. And so once we look at where the money went, the second thing is, let's put a budget together. And a budget doesn't mean you got to cut everything that you love out. It's more about excessiveness. We're trying to get rid of some of the excessiveness, because I've met people who realize that they spend money when they're emotional, when they're going through depression. It's a lot of things that's the underlying reasons why people are spending money. Some people trying to keep up with what they see on social media. They want to look rich, but not be rich. So that's a big problem. And so
that's a good one.
We have to really sit down. We do a budget, and we try to keep that budget and reward themselves when they maintain their budget. And then I'm noticing that a lot of people are using their credit cards to live. They're using credit cards. Yeah. They're using credit cards to float them in between paychecks, but they're not paying them off. So, I always try to tell people I only use credit cards for pretty much travel. What I do is, when it's big expenses, whether it's school clothes, whether you're going on vacation, all that is budgeted. I might pull out.
You have to. You have to.
I budgeted, or like there's an app called Stash. I use Stash.
Oh my goodness! See, that's that.
Yes, I use Stash as my Christmas fund. And yes. So what Stash allow you to do is buy fractional shares of stock. And so what I'll do is I'll put money in there every month, and I let the stocks grow the money. So by the end of the year, that's my Christmas fund. So I'm not charging anything. It's not coming out of my pocket. I literally let the stock market pay for my child's Christmas gifts. And so it's just it's a great tool that you can use if you want to use it for budgeting for big things, maybe a wedding or something like that. It's a good tool to use. And so for some people, they don't understand how credit works. A lot of people say, well, I only got 2 credit cards. And then I say, okay, but what is the debt utilization? And you realize the debt utilization.
There you go. See, you using that word. Now, you know what? It's funny. I was just having a conversation with a young man.
Yes.
And he didn't understand that when you talk about credit, most people just think, oh, what's my FICO score? And they get it confused that there's only one FICO score. And I'm like, no, there's 5 different FICO scores. And he looked at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, no, when you buy a house, so the FICO score you get, like on Credit Karma, it's not your FICO score when you buy that house.
Exactly.
And he was like, oh. I'm like, yeah, when you go buy a car.
It's a whole different score. Every financial institution has a different FICO score for you.
Exactly. And so when you talk to people about credit, because I know part of your business is doing that. How do you have that conversation with them? Because sometimes it's hard. What I find that the hardest thing is getting people to be real with themselves of what their credit score is and what they need to pay off and how do they build their credit score. That's what I found. And so this is your business. It's not my business. I'm just saying this. When people ask me, hey, do you know this? But this is your business. How do you tackle that? How do you tackle those conversations?
The first thing is you just have to look and see what you did. A lot of people are afraid to pull their credit report because they're scared of the number, or it's people it's people who credit score is so low that they feel like it's nothing they can do. And so I always say the first thing is let's look at it. Let's see what you did. Understand that whatever is on your credit report, over time it can be fixed. There is nothing that is a death sentence when it comes to a low credit score. You can increase it. You just got to understand how credit works.
Now, see, Donna, you said something. Time.
Time.
I find people don't want to put the time in.
You know what? It's like you spent 3 to 5 years tearing up your credit score, and you want your credit score fixed in 30 days. That means that number one, you haven't even learned your lesson yet. And so all you're going to do is fix your credit and get right back in debt, mess it up, and be back in the same place. We need you to learn some lessons. So we take you through the steps so you learn the lessons. Because your credit is money, but you want to kind of change your mindset from using credit to buy things of no value or use that credit to buy some assets. So you want your credit score to eventually come to a point to where you can transition into business credit, possibly get into real estate and things like that. So that's why you getting credit. You want to be able to use other people's money, but you want to be able to use other people's money at the lowest price possible. So the higher your credit score, the better. And so we have to look at debt utilization. A lot of people, their credit score is bad because they are at the max of their credit limit. Okay, so if you got a $1,000 credit card and you charge it up to 800, 900, that's knocking your credit score down 50 to 100 points. If you was to just focus on paying that debt down to, let's say, 200, you will see a huge boost in your credit score right off the bat. And so one of the, everybody know that I also partner with a financial literacy company because I needed to give people the foundations to be able to organize their finances. And in this company, they have a credit repair, almost like a little boot camp. So they give you tutorials.
Don't be shy. Tell them about it. See, I was going to know. Don't be shy. People need to know about my econ. You need to let people know because we perish from the lack of knowledge. And the thing is that what you have is knowledge. Okay, so tell them about your My Econ business.
Yes, let me tell you guys, My Econ is a 15-year-old financial literacy education company based out of Atlanta, Georgia. The company is African-American owned, and they really have been going into our communities, just people of color community. Well, anybody can come to My Econ, it doesn't matter. But if you want to be able to mine your money, and they give you like an educational platform. So it's almost like going back to school, except you going to a school of money. That's what it's like. And so they go over budgeting. They go over debt elimination. A big thing about people's credit is debt. And so we show you, we have debt elimination tools that show you how to drill down, especially on those credit cards that you got maxed out. And so we show you how to pay it off faster because we use a concept called income shifting. And income shifting basically means that there are two different set of books when it comes to your taxes. There is a book for people who work jobs, and there's a list of tax laws for people who got businesses. All of the tax advantages is for people with businesses. And so what we show you how to do is we show you how to keep more of your hard-earned money by understanding the tax laws. Because as a business owner, some of the expenses that we could write percentages off of is, let's say, cell phone bill, internet access. You're paying that anyway.
Oh, I got them.
But if you don't have a business, you can't write it off. So how many people are paying car notes? Well, when you're a business owner, you can write off the interest of your car payments. You can't do that if you're just working a job. Or you can take the mileage deduction where you can get 55 cents for every mile that you drive as it's related to your business. You might have advertising expenses, meals outside of groceries. You get 50% of it in a write-off. How many of you, when the world opens back up, will be able to travel again? So you get to write off your mileage and your, not your mileage, your airfare, your hotel, your baggage claim fees, your Uber, or maybe you may rent a car, the meals you eat while you're traveling. That is a tax write-off if you are a business owner. And the one tax advantage I definitely take advantage of is hiring your child into your business, because you can make if your child is over 6 years old, you can have them as an employee in your business, and you can hire that child and you can pay them, but it's a tax write-off as wages for you, as long as it's under $12,000, and it's $12,000 per child. And so you can use some of that money and it'll help pay for their school. You got kids in college, maybe you got kids in sports, and you have to pay for that stuff. I know a lot of people got their daughters in these dancing clubs. It's expensive. And so I'm serious. They're paying like $300, $500 for one competition per child. And so if you were just to tie a home-based business to your income, then you can take those expenses and it can become a tax write-off for you. And
do you help them set up their business as a sole proprietor or LLC?
Because with My Econ, you are a sole proprietorship. So you get a sole proprietorship by joining My Econ. And then we have some people who went the LLC route, which is fine too. We can show you how to do that as well. But once you understand those tax laws, now we can talk money, because now you can save more of your money. And then at the same time, most people have a cash flow problem. And so if you're working a job, we go to where you spend the most of your time and where your money at, and that's your paycheck. Yep. And so we found that 80% of people got the W-4s filled out wrong. And so we show you using an IRS tool how to see how much money the government is taking from you. And the government will tell you how much you're overpaying them. And you're basically giving the government a free loan instead of taking the money and paying off your debt and making your money work for you. And so we show you how to adjust your W-4. For some people, that brings an extra $200 to $800 back into their paychecks. So if you got an extra $200 to $800, that credit card that you got maxed out, guess what? You can pay that off. You can pay it off.
So at the end of the year, do you help them do their, get their tax forms, or refer them to like, hey, since you joined My Econ, you're a sole proprietor. Yes, you're tracking your expenses, and you're keeping a note. Here's how you do your taxes and stuff like that. Yes, we're going to give them an annual report, and the annual report gives the income and expenses for their sole proprietorship. That annual report is given to their tax preparer, or if they're filing their own taxes. As a sole proprietorship, you get to fill out the Schedule C, and the Schedule C is going to list your income, your expenses, and then it's going to be attached to your 1040. Now, the beauty of this, now you could have made a lot of money in your business, or you might be operating at a little bit of a loss. But let's say if you're making $60,000, let's say you're making $60,000 a year, and you might have $20,000 in write-offs. Well, guess what? You went from $60,000 income to $40,000 income. And then once you take the standard deduction, or maybe you got to write off for some kids, you went from $60,000 down to $20,000. You kept a whole lot of money, and you're probably getting a higher refund check, but it's just understanding how it all works. And My Econ does that for you. And so we have people that had like $200,000 worth of debt, had the debt paid off in 8 years, just by adjusting that W-4. And don't blow the money. If you blow the money, your life is not going to change. But if you take that money and you apply it to debt, then everything is going to change. Now, in my situation, I take my money and I invest it because I'm already debt free. See, once you're debt free, you can step your game up and you can invest on a higher level and make more money.
And so once my econ show you how to get out of debt, that's going to affect your credit score. We give you step-by-step tutorials on what affects your credit, and then we give you dispute letters. So there may be some things on your credit report, like you might have collections and bankruptcies and things like that. You literally can dispute anything on your credit file that is hurting you, because at the end of the day,
it's amazing of how many people don't know that.
Yeah. You do not have to accept what they put on there, because number one, they're paying third-party people to go find information about you and put it on your credit file. And sometimes the numbers could be wrong on your balances. You could have paid off a debt and it doesn't reflect that the debt was paid off. It's all type of things. Sometimes there's items that, because of the statute of limitations, should have been off your credit file, but it's still there. And so we give you the dispute letters to mail out to the credit bureaus. That's basically making them prove to you that what's on your credit file is yours. It should be on your credit file, and you forcing them to validate where they got the information from. And usually if they can't do that, guess what? It's going to have to come off. So regardless of where your credit score is right now, it can be fixed. But we give you the letters. See, in my econ, we're not fixing your credit for you. We're teaching you how to fix your own credit. So we're not giving you the fish. We're teaching you how to fish. And once you understand the process, you can change your life, but you can fix your family members' credit. You can do all type of things once you have this information. And so we transfer you from minding your money with a budget, getting out of debt, fixing your credit, and then we're going to go to me and your personal favorites, investing. We love to invest. And you can't do that broke. It's hard to invest broke.
People don't know. It's hard. It's hard to do it, because when you're investing, when you're broke, you make mistakes.
Yes.
You take unnecessary risk.
Yes.
Now I've been doing options forever.
Yes.
But now my thing, I'm still doing options, and I still invest in stock, because I'm a firm believer you need to own stock. But man,
why do you feel that? Why do you feel like people need to own stock?
Here's the thing. If you're walking around with an iPhone, you need to own Apple stock.
Yes.
Okay. If you go to Starbucks, you need to own Starbucks stock. And I think so many people they were giving misinformation that, oh my God, I can't buy Starbucks stock. Yes, you can. I was talking to a young man yesterday. I said, do you have $50 extra a month? Yeah. He said, I really want to know about stock. I said, what if I told you you can take that $50 and buy $10 worth of Apple, $10 worth of AT&T, $10 worth of Coca-Cola, $10 worth. And he was like, huh? I said, here's the thing. You just need to just keep doing it. I said, it will build upon itself. I said, but you don't have to have $1 million to start investing. And I think that's what people don't understand about the whole stock market, that most people think you got to do all this other stuff. No, like I said, you said you use Stash. When I told people about Stash, they looked at me like I was crazy. But everyone who's been using it, since I've told them, I was like, oh my God, I didn't know this.
Stash is awesome. I love
it. Because it's funny, because I see you like, oh, Microsoft just went up. It's like Tesla. Hey, I bought Tesla at $130.
Ooh, you're sitting in the money. You're sitting in the money.
See, and people are like, huh? I was like, yeah. So it went down to 130. And literally went to 800.
Yep.
Just like that. And so, but I think us as African American, I think we don't invest because we don't know. We're not introduced to people who can explain it.
Okay.
And that's the one thing I do like about your program, is that once you get people out of that, you then have another program that shifts them into investing, where you don't make it complicated.
Exactly.
You just okay, here's the stock side, here's the Forex side.
Yes.
And okay. Let's talk about the Forex, because I know I see you on there. You on there. If you told someone that they can make $100 a day in Forex, they would look at you like, huh? And people say, well, what does that mean? I said, think about $100 a day. Now, you can make more than that, but you can scrap. You can do that. You can close your eyes and do that. You know what I mean? I know you do it.
Hard. Yes.
I know you do it.
Yes.
I know you do it. You got students who's doing it right now.
Yes. They did it today.
See? And now, and when I tell people, I say, well, $100 a day that took you 20 or 30 minutes, that's $500 a week.
Yeah.
That's a job.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah.
So tell people about that, about your, I call it your new job. you talk about it every day, your new job. But besides that, but just your new job and using Forex.
Yeah. Know what?
As your new stream of income.
Yes. You guys, like being able to trade Forex, and even I'm also in the futures market is, I want to say maybe for the last 5 or 6 years, it's been available for us little people. Usually you had like to be a big, huge financial institution to be able to get access to these asset classes. And here was the thing, like I said, when I lost my job back in 2008, I lost everything. I lost my home. I lost my, the money. I took all the money that I had in my 401k because I didn't have a means to feed myself. And I didn't expect to be unemployed for 4 straight years. Even though I had money budgeted, it wasn't enough. And that's why I ended up losing my home. And so I realized that you can't have one stream of income, especially if it's coming from a job, because you don't own it, you don't control it, and you can lose it at any time. And so that sparked entrepreneurship. But then at the same time, when you're self-employed, you don't have a pension. You don't have anybody contributing to a 401k for you. So you literally have to be extremely aggressive. And so what I did is focus on every dime that I got, every dime that I got, once it covered your living expenses, everything after that was going into trade accounts. And I was going to trade, and I started with stocks. And then what I started doing is I started learning about Forex, and I started learning about futures. And when I was trading stocks, I had one portfolio, which is for investing long-term, where you hold in stocks. I'm planning on holding some of these stocks for 20 years, 25 years, My number one is Microsoft. Microsoft has never, ever, ever, ever let me down.
Hey, I love them dividends from Microsoft too.
Yes. Get you some dividend stocks, I'm telling you. And Microsoft pays about a minimum 14% return, even in a recession.
Yes.
You still pull 14+%. So you don't have to settle for what they're giving you in a 401k.
Now, it's interesting you said that.
Yes.
Most people don't understand that that's how, what I call other America.
Yes.
I'm not, I love my Caucasian brothers and sisters. But that's how somehow they were living. They were retiring, owning hundreds of shares in like a Coca-Cola, AT&T, and they were living off of that.
Yes.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what
happens
I said.
With our people is if you tell our people buy one stock, they get scared because they'll be like, oh, what if it goes away? I'll lose all my money. The fear of losing money keeps people from making more money.
Now, you know what? I see, this is your interview. I shouldn't be telling my story. This is your interview, but I want to tell it anyway. Yeah. All right. So here's the thing. It blew my mind. I was invited to a party. So I have a 4-year-old, and I was invited to a friend who has a 3-year-old birthday party. Now,
you guys, this is where I be telling people about what you finna say. This is where I learned it from. I learned this piece from him. He's finna tell you. Go ahead.
Okay. So I went to this party, and so I asked, she's not African-American. He was Caucasian. So what do I bring? Because, of course, you bring a gift to a kid's party. So I'm thinking, some robot, He said, no, you don't bring a gift. I okay, what you mean? Don't bring a gift. He said, I'm going to buy a gift. You bring stock.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay. First of all, that blew my mind. So we went, and I'm like, well, okay, what do you mean? He said, you bring stock to the party. So I said, well, okay, what stock? He said, AT&T. I'm like, okay. He said, no, you got to bring 5 shares. Okay, so I'm looking up. I'm trying to see, do I got the money? The money for this. And it was $25 a share. That's $125 a share. Now, here's what people don't understand. Okay, so I brought it. So I bought the stock and I transferred it to his son. No problem. So I go to this party. Everyone's having a good time. At the end of the party, this kid collected 400 shares of AT&T stock. Now, here's what people don't understand. Three. So every 3 months, you get a dividend. You get this thing where you give them $25, they give you 50 cents.
Yeah.
Right? This just happened to be AT&T.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, 400 shares, 50 cents. 400 shares,
wow.
50 cents. Okay? I mean, okay, look at it. Look, say, I'm gonna break out the calculator on you, right? Yeah. So this way, everybody want to make sure everybody understand what that means to us every 3 months. Okay, and every 3 months of what that means. So so if you want to figure that out, take the 400, you times 0.5 equals $200. So $200 every 3 months. Now remember, we got 12 months. That's $800.
Wow.
$800 this 3-year-old was making for the rest of his life.
Wow.
So 800, remember he's 3. Remember, he don't go to college till 15. So you take that 800 again. I tell people about when it comes to doing investing, adding, dividing, multiplying, subtracting. That's it. Right? So I mean, okay, that's it. That's basic. So if you do that, so in 15 years, when he turns 18, he would have generated $12,000.
Wow.
And you know what the crazy thing is? Mm-hmm. Christmas came, he said, hey.
Do it again.
Thank you. But this time, he said, we're going to go with Apple. Get 2 shares.
Ooh, okay.
And so his son, remember, he just had a birthday. Now come Christmas. So he wind up with 200 shares of Apple stock.
Wow.
Now, that's $1.30. Wow. So basically, and if they did nothing, now he does this every year. I think he's 5 right now, but just over that 1 year, he basically set his child to bring in the next 15 years $35,000 a year. Wow. So she take that $35,000 cumulative. That's college.
That's college. That's college. You're right. But it's like you have to have that mindset. Now we got people, they spending $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 on birthday parties. Pay that child, put it into some stock or something so that it helps them. That's called generational wealth building.
Have you ever went to and so after that, have you ever went to a birthday party for like a 4 or 5-year-old, mm-hmm. and they got 8, 9, 10 pairs of Nikes?
For what? And they don't own no Nike stock.
And you're trying to figure out they're 9. They're going to grow out of the shoe. Why didn't you just buy them the stock?
In about 6 months, they'll be out that shoe.
So yeah. So I get excited. I really get excited when I start talking about this whole thing. So tell me when you finally got your credit score up to a level where I call it when you walk into the bank, you're no longer hey, you're Mrs.
Yes.
or Miss. That's how they talk to you now. Before you was like what you want, but now.
How can we help you?
You had that experience. Come on now, when you walk in. And so, so my thing is that, so you did this journey, you got your credit score. How do people, I call it wielding your credit. How do you wield it correctly so you can generate more money? So most people are like, okay, I got my credit score to this. Let's say I got it to 750. Now, how do you effectively use your credit score to make you more money?
Well, with me, don't try this at home, people. Don't try this at home. This is for only skilled traders. But what I used to do is build up a credit score and then get credit cards with huge amounts. Okay. And so the credit cards might be 20,000, it might be 25,000, it might be something like that. Like I said, I only use credit cards for travel, and the money's already budgeted. So as soon as I book the travel, it's immediately paid off. But what I will do is take money from the credit card and put it into a trade account and pretty much flip money. And we'll flip the money, pay off the credit card, but it builds up your account even faster. So that's what I mean by use your money to make some money. Or there are some people who can purchase a property. You might can buy a lien or something like that, and it might be under $15,000. So if you got a $20,000, $25,000 credit card, you can make that happen. Also, once you got a high personal business credit, you want to eventually transition over into business credit. So you want to have your LLC established. You might want to set up some vendor accounts, like the Sam's Clubs and things like that, and then eventually partner with a bank. I used U.S. Bank. So when you partner with U.S. Bank as a business owner, I think the credit card is like $45,000, and as you continue to add these accounts, when you can move some of your personal debt into your business cards, and by putting it on your business cards, it's not on your credit report. It's not reported on your credit report. And you put it on the business side and you can start paying it off, and you still have a high credit score. Or you can get a fleet card when you got a business card.
You can't give away all the secrets. Come on now. You giving away all the good stuff.
I'm trying to tell y'all how to get it.
Okay, you trying to just give it all away. So, like I said, I was excited about this interview. I just want everyone to know it took me a couple of months, but it's here. So,
yes.
So if you had to if you had to leave people with three things about why it's important to understand about financial literacy, what would that be?
Well, I would say I think the first thing that I'm saying to people, the reason why they need to take it serious is because just if you look at the environment and what we're going through right now, there is so much uncertainty. And the one thing about financial literacy, you got to understand them tax laws. That's number one.
Okay.
You got to learn how to keep your money, manage your money, and make more of your money, and stop giving it away to banks and corporations. Number two, I would say you got to learn how to invest. You got to not just invest, but you got to learn how to day trade. I think that day trading allows you to make daily income. It is not dependent on a job. You literally can use your laptop. You can even trade from your phone nowadays. There is no reason why you're not able to create your own income. I'm serious. Okay. So learn it. Those who do join my My Econ, you do get access to my Forex class for free. And I give you a simple trade strategy that I use to grab money out the Forex markets all day long. So on Sunday through Friday, we trade. And then on Saturdays, we trade Bitcoin. And so even if you don't own Bitcoin, you can trade and make money off Bitcoin. So we're definitely doing that as well. And just like he said, what if you could grab $100? What if you can grab $100 a day out the markets and you did it 6 days a week? That's $2,400 cash in addition to your paycheck. And then let's say you took that $2,400, and I got my little calculator here. If you took that $2,400 And let's say you invested it, and we're gonna use Microsoft again. But let's say you use your day trading account to fund your retirement account. That's what I use it for.
Yes.
I day trade to take the money to put it into my long-term investment account. But if you were to do that, $2,400 a month, in 20 years, you would have 3.1 million. 3.1 million from day trading, making $100 a day. That's how powerful trading is. You can multiply your money. It's not gambling. It's not a get rich quick. You have to learn the skill. You got to have some discipline, have some consistency about yourself. If you think you're going to come in and you're just going to flip money, you're going to lose all your money. You're going to start donating to them.
Just like
that ain't how it works. But we do give you education. We give you a plan. And that's just Forex. I trade futures too. That's a whole nother level.
That's a whole nother animal right there.
You get paid 10 times more faster. So literally we make all our money in less than 15 minutes a day. So we don't have to be in the markets for hours at a time, 15 minutes a day. You could be in and out and done with your day. You funded your investment account, and hey, you might get good enough to where you can replace your job. And so with My Econ, we get paid to teach people how to start their My Econ businesses. And so they're paying me residual. So you talking an extra $18,000 a month in residual income. Guess where that goes? Into my investment account. And that's how you grow $1,000 investment account. So now it's like $740,000. In a short period of time, I'm debt free. And then all I do is day trade and invest. And you can do that too. And the third thing I would leave with is that we have to leave something for our children. We have to leave wealth for our children. You want to give your children options. You know, we cannot leave this earth and you don't have no life insurance. You ain't got no 401k. I'm meeting so many people that's in their 40s and they haven't even started. They haven't even started saving for their retirement. Do you know that the Social Security check, the average is about $1,200. So if you can't live off $1,200 now, how you gonna live off that and you 67, 70 years old and your pharmaceutical drugs probably $500 a month there? How you gonna make it? How do you make it? I don't understand. So at some point you got to get serious about it and understand that, again, there's nothing that you can buy that is going to make you feel better than being debt free. Trust me, once you are debt free, you own your paycheck. And when you own your paycheck, you can multiply the paycheck. You got to leave wealth for your kids, leave a paid off house for your kids, leave some money in your investment account for your kids. Buy your kids maybe rental property, buy them a first duplex. They on one side, they rent out the other side. Teach your kids about money management. Teach them about investing early so that when they grow up, they don't make the same mistakes that you made, and that they break this generational curse of living paycheck to paycheck and being in poverty and waiting for somebody to do something for us when we are the change we've been looking for. We just have to decide that, number one, we're going to control our dollar, because if we control our dollar, we can control everything that's happening around us, and that we invest and get a piece of the land and the businesses and the stocks of America. That's all I got to say.
Well, see, I told him. See, I didn't have to say it. See, I told him she was going to testify, and she did. She came here, showed out on the show, and now, see, now I'm excited. So now I got to go trade right now.
Right.
You know, I do got some options going on right now.
You know, now see, options is something I do not know. I said one day I'm going to sit down and I'm going to learn options. It hasn't happened yet, but that's what's wonderful. You can do stocks, you can do options, you can do forex, you can do futures. It's binary options now. It's so much that you can put so much money on the table. Just grab a little bit.
It's right there. Now you know you have to come back. Yes. Now I gotta have you guys regular now. And now you got to be a regular on the show because we need to hear what you got to say. Now, again, tell everyone where they can find out about My Econ. Do you got a website, a phone number? Let the people know.
It's real simple. If you want to learn more about My Econ, I have a very detailed presentation on the strategies and how the strategies can change your life. You can go to www.workwithangela.net. workwithangela.net, and you'll learn everything you need to know. You can get partnered. I'll mentor you. I'll coach you, and we're going to put you on that right side of money.
Workwithangela. See, now, how you going to forget that?
Work with Angela.
How you going to forget workwithangela.net? Again, thank you. I'm telling you, thank you. We're definitely going to have you back on the show. And again, I already know that you already doing good things. I know you have greater things to come. Again, everyone, thank you. And that's the conversation.
Thank you for being a part of the conversation with Corinthus Alston. Brought to you by CKJ Live. Come back and visit us again to hear more real life topics and stories that matter to you. And remember, without the conversation, we can't have the understanding.